everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Corin, also known as the Kitten Choreographer. My pronouns are he, they, and I am a teen with a passion for animal rescue and, in particular, kitten rescue. So today is going to be the start of a very exciting new series where I discuss kitten care for someone who has maybe never had a kitten before. So a lot of information out there about kittens is geared towards someone that has maybe already had a cat before. But if you're brand new to kittens, this series is for you. Or even if you're not, that's okay. But if you are brand new to kittens, this series is a great start for you to learn about kittens. So this first episode is going to be all about the basic supplies that you need for a kitten. And then as we go on, we'll have episodes about food in particular, and litter, and just all the other categories that you need to know before you adopt a kitten. I'm planning on airing these episodes weekly, so if you look on my channel and they're not there yet, it's just because I haven't uploaded them yet. But if you're looking from the future, I'll have a playlist with all of these episodes, so you can binge watch them all if you're preparing to get a kitten. And even if you're not completely new to kittens, if you maybe only have one when you're a kid, and you're just finally getting one as an adult for the first time, and you're looking on where to start, this is just a great place for you to start. But this episode 1, is just all about the supplies you need for kittens. And this is just a basic overview of those supplies. We'll go more in depth with each video that is kind of doing a deep dive, but this is just an overview. Now I will throw in here that if you're looking to adopt a kitten, I would always recommend adopting 2 kittens instead of 1. My last video was actually all about that, so I'll put it in a card here or here and link it in the description there, and then you can see all about why I recommend 2 kittens instead of 1. But that's not what this video is focused on. That's just another great reference point if you're looking as to why I recommend 2 instead of 1. Now for these supplies, I will kind of list what supplies you need and then also some of my favorite supplies, and I will also link those in the description below. Those are affiliate links, and I do make a small commission from you if you do purchase from those links, so thank you if you do decide to use them, but absolutely no pressure to use those. And again, if there appears to be any information missing, it's because I will do an in-depth episode on it. Now, there are a couple things you're probably going to already know that you need for a cat, but number one that you'll probably already know, but just in case, I'm just throwing it out here, and that's that you're going to need food. And of course you and everybody, even if they're new to cats, they know that cats need to eat, but it can be very overwhelming out there on all the different types of food brands. So I'm just going to list a couple of my favorites here, but again, there will be a food episode. So I recommend IAMS for wet food and dry food, and then I recommend Purina Pro Plan for wet food and dry food, and then I recommend Purina 1 for dry. I don't know if there's a Purina 1 wet food. If there is, I'll link it below, and I'm sure that's a good one too. I just haven't personally used it. So I recommend those 3 brands. Purina Pro Plan is kind of up there in price. IAMS is more mid-range, but I do like all of those 3 foods. I use for my kittens. I use a Purina food. Purina foods are hit and miss, but in the end, it's going to be okay as long as you're feeding your kitten a kitten food diet. And if you have a cat, feed them a cat food diet. So just make sure the food is for cats, not dogs, not human food, for cats. And for wet food and dry food, the IAMS, which is more mid-range. And then Purina Pro Plan is kind of up there, but it is a very good Purina food. And then Purina 1, the kitten food is really good for young kittens because the kibble is really small, so it's easier for them to eat than the Purina Pro Plan, basically. And I'm going to throw in a couple optional items too. An optional one is a food mat. You don't need one of these, but I do find them really helpful because their food area can get a little messy. They're easy to clean so you don't get the floor dirty, and I'll link one down below. Another thing that's not optional is you're going to want litter and a litter box. If you are letting cats outside, I don't generally recommend that, but if you are, you might not need as many litter boxes, but you are going to need a litter box, and I am actually going to make a video all about why you shouldn't let cats outside, so I will add that to the description once I've made it, but I haven't made it yet, as of the time I'm filming this. But let's assume you're getting an indoor cat. You're going to need a litter box and litter. My favorite for non-clumping is the Tidy Cats, and that is a clay non-clumping litter. That's best for kittens because young kittens cannot have clumping litter. But if you're adopting one from a rescue or a humane society, they should be old enough to know not to eat the litter, and they should be old enough for clumping. But I would reach out to the rescue you're adopting them from and just ask what litter preference they have, so you can start them on whatever litter they're used to and then transition to a different litter if you want. Sorry, Zero's running around in the background, so if you hear that, that's what that is. But let's see, Tidy Cats for non-clumping, and then my favorite clumping litter is the Fresh Step clumping litter. They have one that's specifically for multi-cat use, and that's the one I use since I have a lot of cats in my household. And then the one I've used in the past, if you want like a pine litter that's non-clumping, I use the Feline Pine non-clumping cat litter when I do use pine litter, but pine litter is not my favorite. It's just kind of hard to deal with, so I prefer non-clumping clay for young kittens and then clumping clay for older kittens and cats. And then you can use a covered litter box, or you could use a non-covered litter box. Either one is good. For kittens, you might want to start with a non-covered litter box just because it'll be easier for them to learn where it is and how to use it and stuff. But I know a lot of people prefer covered litter boxes, and those are fine too, especially once the cats get older and know where the litter box is. And then I will go over robot litter boxes and all those fancy litter boxes in my dedicated litter box and litter episode, so you can stay tuned for that. Yes, litter in a litter box. I'll link down some of the litter boxes I have down below, but it's really not like super specific as to what litter box you have. Kittens and cats, they're not like dogs where you have to potty train them outside. They pretty much know how to be litter trained. It's an instinct. They're gonna want to find a sand-like or clay-like place to use the bathroom, and the litter box is gonna be their preferred place to use the bathroom. They're not like dogs. If you're new to cats, you might not know that. You don't usually have to litter train them. Now, toys. Toys, I would say they're non-optional, but you don't have to spend a lot of money on them. There are a lot of cat toys you can make at home, but let's just go over some of my favorite cat toys that you can buy. So I like the Kitten springs. They're little plastic. If you don't know what they look like, I can pop up a picture here. So they're a really good, cheap cat toy if you need one. Wand toys. These interactive toys are so fun to play with the kittens with. I don't really like the feather toys. I don't really recommend feathers for non-supervised play, or really at all. I mean, if you're going to use them, supervised play, because they can really easily ingest those feathers, and that's not healthy. So I recommend the wand toys with the, like, fabric, or like with a little mouse or toy at the end. And those are pretty cheap too. And then mice, the little stuffed toy mice, those are really cute, those are really fun. And then scratchers, you're gonna want a scratcher for your cat, because declawing is never something I recommend, so we're going with the assumption that you don't have a declawed cat, and I can maybe make a whole video on that sometime, but for now, just know I would never recommend declawing. So let's go with the assumption that your cat has their claws and are going to need a scratching post. A lot of people are worried about cats scratching furniture, and I really haven't found that to be an issue as long as you have a scratching post for them. This can come in the form of a cheap cardboard scratcher that if you aren't working with a big budget, you can get one of those and they can scratch on the cardboard. There are also stand-up cat scratchers. And then to move on into the next section of beds, there are also cat trees, which have beds, and cat scratchers. I love cat trees, because the cats just find a lot of enrichment out of them. So cat trees, they can be kind of expensive. There are some more inexpensive ones out there, but they are kind of an investment, but I do really recommend them because my cats love them, especially kittens. And for cat beds, they do make cat-specific beds. I've had cats that love cave beds, I've had cats that love just regular beds. It really depends on the cat for which one they prefer. There is a joke that your cat is not going to sleep in the cat bed if you buy it for them, and that is because they might not use it. So I will say, you don't need a dedicated cat bed necessarily. As long as you have a scratching post for them, they can sleep on your bed, they can sleep on a blanket, they can sleep on your couch, they're probably going to sleep in any box you get. You can use the box you got their food in as a bed. So that's another thing you don't really have to spend a lot of money on. And if you would like a whole video dedicated on budget cat finds, definitely let me know, because I can definitely make that video for you. But then that is all the supplies I'm thinking of for like a regular adoptable kitten that you're going to think of that is like absolutely necessary. But I do have a couple more notes before I wrap up. I will say, make sure to take your kittens to the vet within the first 2 months of adopting them. Sooner if they haven't had vet care before. But let's say you're adopting them from a shelter or rescue, they should have already had some sort of vet care, and your individual shelter or rescue will tell you what vet care they've had when you adopt them. But even if they have been fixed and they've had their shots already, you do want to go ahead and take them into a vet just to establish a care plan with your vet. You can get set up with pet insurance if you want, and that's an a whole complicated topic I don't know a lot about and will have to do some more research on before making a video on. But if you don't get pet insurance, even just establishing how often your vet wants to see them, usually once a year, but if they do have any health issues, your vet might want to see them more often, and just to make sure they're healthy. Because not every rescue is created equally, and while I'd love to say that every rescue will give you a perfectly healthy kitten, I can't actually guarantee that, unfortunately. So you do want to make sure your cat is healthy when you adopt them. And then, I can go more into depth this sometime, but if you are new to cats, you might not know the importance of spaying and neutering. Spaying and neutering is so important when it comes to cats. We have a huge overpopulation crisis in the world with cats, and we don't need any more of them. So I will say, please spay and neuter your cat if they are not already. If you adopt them for a shelter or rescue, they will probably be fixed already, but if you find them off the streets, they might not be fixed. So I will say, please get them spayed and neutered. I will be making a whole video eventually on the importance of spaying and neutering, but there are so many health risks that are associated with not fixing. There are a bunch of different types of cancers they can get, both males and females, from not being fixed. And then there are a bunch of behavioral issues that pop up, like spraying if you don't get them fixed. And I know you don't want your cat to spray, so you should get them fixed. So there's just a whole plethora of reasons why you should spay and neuter, so I always recommend it. Cats should be fixed by the age of 5 months, I think experts say, because they can start reproducing as early as 4 months. So as soon as possible. The youngest you can get them fixed is at 2 pounds and 8 weeks. I know a lot of rescues start fixing then, but if you don't have to get them fixed that young, your vet might recommend waiting until like 3 months. 12 weeks or something like that. But yes, I think that is going to be the basics for my first episode of cat care for newcomers. I don't know exactly what I'm going to title it yet, but actually I do, I remembered. It's going to be a beginner's guide to kittens. Let me know if there are any ideas for this series you want. There are 7 episodes planned right now, but I can definitely make more if you think of any topics that there should be. If you're a newcomer to cats, are there any questions you have? Because I can definitely answer those for you. So yeah, I'm really excited about this series because I know it can be really daunting to go into the care for a new animal, or a new species of animal, I should say, because there's a lot you need to know. But I hope this series and this episode can help you break it down so that it is easier for you to get a cat, because the more people we have in the world of cats, the better. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe for more kitten-related content. I upload on Sundays and on Wednesdays if I can, and if I can't, then I upload whenever I am able to. Also, please make sure to leave any thoughts or questions that you have down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching again, and goodbye!